welcome to the competition for the PIP Startup Innovation Award 2021, where you will learn about latest technologies, use cases, and you find out which startups develop the solution that may have the potential to be a game changer for the sector. My name is Bernhard Buckhoff. I'm the chairman of the Postal Innovation Platform, and I'll guide you through today's webinar or startup competition, as well as through the two upcoming ones for the other categories. Let me also thank here at this point our partners for this event, which are Swiss Post, Austrian Post, and Parcel+Post Expo. So thank you very much for being supporters and sponsors of this event. As I just mentioned, we have here three virtual events leading up to the live event in Vienna. Three categories where we are going to look into different startups with different kinds of solutions, but grouped to some degree. So in the first one, which is today, we are going to talk about the first and the last mile. Next week on Tuesday, we are going to talk about processes, digital, and data. And the week after, on the 22nd of June, on e-commerce, retail, and cross-border. We will have pitches here from the startups today. We have 7 startups that are going to present to us today in this first category. And this will then be followed by questions and answers, discussion with the judges. In total, each startup will have 8 minutes. So that's the maximum. But how you split it between presenting and discussion, that is a bit up to you. So if you present longer than 4 minutes, you have less time for discussions with the judges. If you present a bit less, so for example 3 minutes, you will have obviously 5 minutes for discussion with the judges. So that's up to you. So we were proposing maybe 4 minutes, but again, try yourself to find the right way to do it. Just to let you know, the judges want to discuss with you. They want to see what you're doing. They have particular questions, and they might also have some feedback for you. So I think that's a unique opportunity as well. At the end of today's meeting, we might have a short feedback round with the judges, if the time permits. But after that, what we are going to have is a non-public meeting with the judges, amongst the judges, where they are going to discuss and choose the 3 finalists or the 3 shortlisted finalists, which will then also be invited to present in Vienna at the finals on 12th of October. So today, 3 startups will be chosen for that, but in any case, it's a unique opportunity for everybody to be in front of the judges, and I'll soon present them, and you'll see they all have a very strong industry background. The startups which we are having here pitching today are eLogii, Kardinal, Nundi, Mobile Locker, Track&Engage, OmniOpti, and SmartAddress. And I'll introduce them again once we move forward in this competition. Let me now introduce the judges to you. First, we have the chair of the judging panel, the director for open innovation and venturing at Swiss Post, Thierry. Great to have you with us here. Hi. We have Marc Sarmiento. He is the head of research and innovation at Austrian Post. Hey, Marc. We have Elmar Toime from Toime Consulting and a long history in various postal companies, CEO of New Zealand Post, on the board of Deutsche Post, DHL, and Qatar Post. So he's really with a very profound knowledge here with us today. Hi, Elmar. We have Alessandro Filigenzi, Innovation Manager of Poste Italiane. Hey, Alessandro. We have not yet here with us, but he's on the list at least, so hopefully he will be able to join. It's André Farrand. He's the Global Managing Director, Postal Parcel+Last Mile at Accenture. And we have Christian Oestergaard. He's the Senior Group Strategist of IT Production, IT AI at PostNord. Hello, Christian. Before we start with the first startup, I would like to invite here the chair of the judging panel, Thierry, to say a few words. My question to you is, what do you expect of today's competition? And is there a specific message that you want to give to the startups that are pitching today?
Yes, so first, good afternoon to everyone, and thank you, Bernhard, for organizing this award, and to my fellow jurors for their kind participation. I expect actually today that I will first learn something interesting and new but also get insights on innovative concepts and solutions for the industry, but also for my own company. With that in mind, my message to the startups is just grab the chance you have to exchange today with executive business experts who are open to facilitate and assess then joint projects. If they like what you pitch. Now, also the ball is actually yours, and good luck to all the startups.
And I think that should be the biggest motivation for everyone here today. Say, okay, we have so many representatives from postal companies, important postal companies that really are driving a lot of innovative projects within the organizations. It's a unique opportunity to discuss with them, and maybe, yes, to continue the discussions after the event. Let's see. The first startup, which I would like now invite to pitch, is eLogii with Andrew Mukherjee and Sagar Shah. You ready?
We're ready. Hi, everyone. Andrew passes his apologies. Unfortunately, he's having difficulties connecting. So I'm happy to take it through. So just a brief introduction. My name is Sagar Shah. I'm one of the co-founders and chief commercial officer of eLogii. eLogii is the leading cloud-based delivery management software solution, primarily for route planning and optimization. We launched eLogii during the beginning/mid of last year, and now quickly gaining significant market traction and disrupting an otherwise industry which was dominated by legacy transport management systems. Our solution is essentially at its core helping businesses save time and money by streamlining their operations, but at the same time providing an exceptional customer experience. This goes all the way from automating their last mile logistics completely from route planning and scheduling, as well as being able to change various constraints within their operations to match their specific use case, and finally, obviously, offering their customers with an experience which we like to term as Amazon-like. We have already started to gain significant momentum and are becoming the leading player in this market. We're helping businesses of all sizes, all the way from SMEs to enterprise customers, and across all different use cases across distribution and field services. So the platform has proven to fit within the entire ecosystem, enabling businesses not only to use this as a standalone tool, but also as a means of connecting with other internal systems to enable a completely seamless kind of operational experience. A little bit more about the platform. So there are three primary components. One is this class-leading dashboard, which is utilized by operators and dispatchers to plan future and live routes, enabling the auto-optimization of their operations, but at the same time allowing them to have enough manual intervention, being able to react to events in real time, and giving them the complete visibility and transparency they need to manage their entire operations end to end. Two is the driver or field service agent component, where we're enabling the drivers with an application which they can download on their smartphones, which allows them to receive jobs and enables them to collect a digital proof of delivery, and for the business to have complete tracking, monitoring, and visibility of the entire delivery lifecycle with a complete audit trail of events, which is completely bulletproof and enabling the security that everyone in the ecosystem desires. And finally, to close the loop, it's the end customer. So we help businesses, as I mentioned, to provide this Amazon-like experience to their end customers, enabling them to have white label notifications, be it SMS or email, whereby they can show live tracking of drivers, live ETAs, monitoring of their specific deliveries, and finally allowing customers to also share feedback and provide rating on the service they receive for businesses to then subsequently continue to improve their operations. Now, why do we believe we're innovative? Well, eLogii actually sits within the Brisk group. Brisk is a last mile delivery business which we set up about 5 years ago. So eLogii is really based on a unique operator perspective, where we have trialed a lot of the technology that we have built ourselves in real life and have, as a result, enabling the same for our customers today. It's a market which is what we often call quite polarized. On one end, you have very traditional TMS systems, which are not necessarily dynamic enough to meet the demands of kind of the last mile today. And on the other side, you have very small solutions which only enable one component of the ecosystem. And as mentioned, we've taken a platform approach whereby we are not necessarily trying to achieve everything, but we want to sit within the overall ecosystem and be able to connect to all the various aspects of the last mile and the logistics/operations ecosystem. So we're able to seamlessly connect accordingly. The value we create in the market: one, significantly cost-effective to traditional means of completing the same. We are operating a pure SaaS business model. So it's a cloud-based business model enabling accessibility to anywhere in the world, allows us to onboard customers very quickly, very easily, and allows us to basically reach markets where we otherwise wouldn't have been able to reach. And finally, what does this all mean as part of the bigger picture? Essentially, what is our solution providing? Now, it's allowing us to connect particularly from an operations point of view, all the various components together in one ecosystem. And as a result, it's allowing us to, really, potentially allow businesses to monetize any asset downtime by simply giving them that visibility and transparency across their entire operation. So it's significantly enhancing resource utilization, which has a profound impact on the environment in many cases, particularly within metropolitan cities. We've seen with a number of our customers, but also it's simplifying the process, which was in many cases otherwise very manual, but at the same time enabling a customer experience which is now a necessity to meet the demands of customers today. The technology is helping businesses to simplify their operations. And that's it from me. Thank you for listening to the pitch.
Okay, we have 30 seconds left. One quick question from the judges.
Oh, sorry.
Any judge who has a question for Sagar?
Yeah, if I may. Hi,
Please.
Marc here from Austrian Post. Thank you for your insight. I just didn't understand who your target customers actually are. Is it freight forwarder? Is it a logistics company? Is it maybe the person who looks for a job? Who is your target customer, and how do you monetize it?
Yeah, thank you. So our target customer is essentially any business with a fleet of vehicles. So we have customers which are logistics players, freight forwarders. We have wholesalers of food and beverage who have their own set of vehicles and are doing distribution directly to other businesses. So the market is simply quite significant. Any business that has either field service agents or drivers, in which they need to route plan and optimize all their jobs in an efficient way. And how we monetize, as I mentioned, we deploy a SaaS-based business model. So it's a subscription-based business model where we are enabling access for clients, which can be multi-year deals. They can pay upfront, monthly, etc., depending on various different terms.
Great. Thank you very much, Sagar. We come to our next startup, and the next one on the list is Kardinal, and we have Cédric Hervé from Kardinal here with us. Cédric, you're ready? I see your slide is opening. Please, the floor is yours. Cédric, I think you're muted still.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's better.
I was just
Now we can
trying to
hear you.
find the button. Okay, well, thank you, Bernhard. So let's start right away. So yeah, good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here as the co-founder and head of science at Kardinal. So at Kardinal, we're mostly known for our continuous real-time optimization technology for global route optimization. But today, I would like to present you our innovative approach for strategic sectorization, which is dedicated to last mile parcel and postal delivery. So it all started with the constatation that for most parcel delivery companies, the ideal of having a global dynamic route optimization process was actually really hard to achieve. Impossible is a bit provocative here, as some of you may have succeeded in actually implementing a truly fluid optimization process, but in that case, you must be aware of the tremendous cost such implementation requires. The classic scheme we observed is a sorting process based on static geographical sectors, often postal codes, when you have lots and lots of parcels to sort and deliver on a daily basis. And so in that case, route optimization is only limited to tile sequencing, as in step 4 here. And it's mostly done by the driver, and everything is decided in advance. So of course, route optimization in that context brings value, but the most structuring decisions that could optimize the process have been decided way in advance when the sectorization itself was designed. So we built the first software for last mile parcel delivery sectorization. This software allows any agency manager to fully leverage his historical data in order to automatically build optimized sectorization that will offer great performances and feasibility. The sectors produced by the machine are more efficient than the current organization, and it's very easy to put into practice. No need to change the processes, just the sectors. Compared to optimization projects that last years, Secto can be operational and deliver massive cost reductions in a few weeks. A few use cases. With Secto, the user can easily define the structuring dimensions of his activity in terms of fleet and cost. Based on historical data, the tool can automatically build the optimal sectorization that can be manually adjusted to local constraints before exporting it to production. Once defined, a sectorization can be used on the field, and our software can be fed by live data on a daily basis to analyze how sectors are behaving in real time in order to take action as soon as possible. Combined with our continuous optimization tools, it allows for an automatic balancing of parcels between sectors. And finally, Secto sure is an optimization tool, but it can also be used as a simulation tool in a what-if analysis fashion. The user can try many alternative hypotheses on his fleet, the evolution of his activity or geographical perimeter, and thus get the estimation of the impact on his own activity. Secto is not just a map with nice interactive features that leave all the work to the user. It really is a decision support system that relies on the most recent mathematics. We leverage the finest and most recent research in combined machine learning and geographical optimization technology. This approach is radically new and has no equivalent in the market. Here are some KPIs I can share with you about an experimentation we led with a leading parcel delivery company in France. First, in terms of efficiency, the new sectorization design showed that the same level of activity could be operated with 15% less stores and 14% less kilometers traveled. But maybe more interesting, emergency drivers that are mobilized for peak days, for example, were almost completely removed. And in the end, the OPEX costs were reduced by 21%, which generated a 930% ROI for the agency. It's clear that we're living troubled yet exciting times for logistics. The market is changing profoundly. The pressure on last mile delivery is higher than ever. At Kardinal, we believe that our role is to help players accomplish that transition through best-in-class mathematics and AI. Secto is the natural extension of our approach. I thank you very much for listening to me, and I'm available for any question you may have.
Thank you very much, Cedric. Back to the judges. Who wants to start?
Perhaps I could just start. I'm not sure if you caught the previous presentation. It also dealt with optimization and so on. I was sort of quite taken by the idea of sectorization, but I'd assume the sectors are already being decided and then you operated within those sectors, but you're actually changing the sectors as well. If you just briefly comment on that, and then could you point out to us why you might be different, for example, to the case we just heard?
Well, yeah, just like you said, the point of Secto is really to work on the predefined sectorization itself, because it's not something that you can change every day. Most of the time, especially when you have little flexibility in, with your furnishers, the external drivers you're working with, you cannot change things regularly. So you need to, when you define a sectorization, it will be applied on the field for several months and sometimes several years, because you do not know how to change this sectorization. You do not know how, on what basis, factual basis, you can change those sectors. So the first thing we bring is a factual basis. We take historical data, we show how the actual sectors are working and behaving, and we show how we could improve them in terms of operational efficiency. That's really the point. Of course, it does not prevent you from using actual route optimization afterwards. But our claim here is to say that for huge volumes of parcels, the structuring decisions is in how you build your sectorization instead of how you operate it ultimately.
So one more question. Yes, Christian.
Cedric, just a question here on. So what you are contributing with is actually an algorithm in order to that you add before you do the optimization in order to make the changes amongst the drivers as few as possible in order to keep a higher quality. Is that right? Understood?
Yes, it's definitely the right idea.
Thank you.
Okay, well, is there one more question? That's not the case, then thank you very much, Cedric.
Thank you very much.
It was perfect in time. Let's move on to our next presenter here. We have Cynthia Assai and Camille Biraben from Nundi. Please.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm just sharing the screen.
It works, we can see it. Great. The floor is yours.
Hello everyone. So I am the managing director and partner at Nundi. Camille is a customer experience manager, and we present you our project. So Nundi is the first Ivorian digital delivery solution aiming to make all the Ivorian territory accessible for shipping and delivery in West Africa. Do you know that for most of the African population, modern delivery channels are out of reach? More specifically, around 80% of West African people lives without access to any postal service, and people have no option but to rely on informal transport actors whose core business is not to ship and receive mails or goods. So they usually operate in buses terminals, working on paper with no access to scan, no access to Wi-Fi, no printers. So our unique value proposition is delivery technology adapted to daily West African condition and guaranteeing tracking and security that make it possible to combine formal and informal player, plus a strong network of pickup points. Our mission is to make every part of the region accessible and to create trust, to prevent people from any difficulties regarding shipment and reception.
So Nundi's app was developed from scratch by our IT team, split it between Abidjan and Lyon. It's designed for customer use. With the app, the clients can create the parcel and see how much they're going to pay. They can choose also the closest pickup point to pick and drop their parcel. With the app, they can also choose to pay by cash at the pickup point or to pay by mobile money to prevent any change difficulties. There is no need to print any label. With our system, we have a unique code word linked to every parcel that helps tracking the parcel through the process. We can also work with barcode and QR code. When the parcels arrives, the recipient will receive a secret PIN code by text message, which can also be viewed by the sender on their app. But Nundi is not limited to C2C processes. It's also working, as you can see on the slide, with B2B and B2C processes. On the same pattern, the business expeditor will create the parcel. We have Nundi runners that will that are operating as independent and will come and collect the parcel on their daily home work trip and drop them at our partner bus station. On arrival, the recipient will be also informed by text message. With our B2B process, it's also possible for us to directly deliver our partner shops. So here is a quick view of our network with more than 40 city delivers and more than 100 pickup points. We are trying to cover the whole territory, recruiting every day new pickup points and training them. And we are aiming to extend to Ghana and Nigeria in the next coming years.
Another point we would like to stress out is Nundi's social impact. So the first one is less pollution, because you don't need to buy anything to start working with Nundi, with bring your own device technology. And in addition, we just had Nundi parcels to already operating logistic paths. So no extra routes, no trucks. The second one, it is an inclusive model. So as a pickup point or a runner, you help your community and make an additional income. As a logistic player, you optimize your operation with more volume and earn commissions. And as a client, you can send and receive goods at a fair price without difficulty. Please meet some of our operation team in Ivory Coast who work hand in hand with our team tech to make shipping and receiving accessible for everyone in the region. Thank you. Open to the question.
Thank you very much. So back to the judges again.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Elmar.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I found that really interesting. It seemed to me there were two dimensions. One, the technology that you have developed here, but the second part is really recruiting the runners and the drivers and getting those people. How do you go about doing that? What's your process there, and how will you advise others to follow you?
So it's how we are recruiting our runners, our pickup points,
and the pricing. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are. So it's really a change in the mentality to do this kind of work for them. So we are really working on going in the inland and doing as much as we can to explain how it's going to help, and explain also how a runner will reimburse their trip. Like we are giving them a commission for every parcel they are going to transfer. So if we are giving them 100 francs, and their transport fees will be around 100 also for the day, so they will reimburse every day. And that's how we are engaging people to work with us.
And about the pricing, our price is set depending on the number of people. So we have runner, we have bus company, and pickup points. So it depends on the number of people involved in the delivery of the parcel. So it's not based parcel value or the distance between you and your recipient.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You have also managed to grow quite impressively in the last months, I believe, with these 40 main cities in Ivory Coast. So quite impressive. What has been the biggest challenge actually you faced and you solved during the last months linked to that growth?
The biggest challenge is to maintain our network working, even if during like 2 months you will not send any parcel in the west part of Ivory Coast. You need to keep your pickup points and runners active there. So here there is people will not warn you, for example, if they are closing their shop or if they are leaving for traveling for 2 months or something like this. So we really need to create engagement, call them, and try to visit as much as we can to really maintain this network. It's the biggest challenge, and we are still working on finding solutions to have everyone communicating and being active every day.
Good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Very impressive. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's move on to our next startup. We have Kevin van Hout here from Mobile Locker. Kevin, you are ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Hi guys, so my name is Kevin from the company Mobile Locker in Belgium, where we have our HQ. I will start the presentation quickly. We have a lot to say. We operate in a lot of market segments, but I'll try to keep it short because we only have 4 minutes. So Mobile Locker, like I said, our HQ is in Antwerp, Belgium. But we also have 5 other offices, including Hawaii, Chile, Switzerland, Poland, and the UK. So we basically we operate worldwide. Mobile Locker originated originally at the beaches with our mobile units. So we thought of the idea for people to safeguard their items on the beach. From that, we grew rapidly into the festival and the event market. But we also operate into API lockers. We do venues, so big concert halls where we put the lockers inside. We recently, last year, launched our Colibri lockers, which I'm going to talk to you more about now. And we operate into the P2G segment as well. So, for instance, we operate in Brussels Airport, the Belgian railways. We have lockers as well. We recently signed a big contract. Here are some of our references. So Live Nation is for all of our festival and events. Last year we had Tesla who used our lockers during the lockdowns. They used them as a click and collect point to exchange their car keys. Brussels Airport, like I said, and then we have several other ones, Volkswagen, DHL and GLS, which are more important for this market segment. So these are a few photos of our lockers worldwide. In the middle on top, you can see one of our mobile lockers, which is on the beach in Aruba. It's completely automated and standalone. It works on solar panels. Why is this important as well for the parcel delivery market segment? Because we are originated on the beach. We have very durable lockers. They have to withstand all kinds of climates. But not only this, a lot of people use them. Same with the events. So they have to be simple to use, and they have to be durable, basically. And then you have some more Colibri lockers on the bottom, and these are the white lockers on the bottom and on top right. And on the left corner, you have one of our festival container units. So what are the current challenges for first and last mile for parcel delivery? During the corona, you have an increased demand of large parcel sizes as well. Our lockers are almost double the size of the normal lockers. So we go in depth of to 90 centimeter depth, where normal lockers only go to the 50 centimeter depth. The depth, for instance, people used to only order on a phone, for instance, online. Now people order trampolines and skis and everything, basically due to Corona as well. This is important. Lockers are important as well for successful first delivery. So for a parcel delivery company, if you
Kevin, we can't hear you. Kevin, we lost you somehow. We can see your slides, but we can't hear you currently. Kevin, can you hear us? We can't hear you. I see you are not on mute, so normally we have heard you very well until the last slide. And on the last slide, suddenly it broke off. Could it be your mic? No, we can't hear you. Could it be your mic?
No.
Now we can hear you.
Now you can hear me? Yeah.
But no, I heard, yes.
We recently moved to a new location, so we have troubles with the internet sometimes. So that's probably why.
Okay.
So sorry for that.
Listen,
okay,
I think everybody has seen and heard what you said up to the last slide.
Okay.
So, normal.
So
if you want
continue to the
something
lockers
that was on
quickly.
the last slide, maybe.
Okay, so do you hear why lockers are important in general? So I was talking about lockers are important for parcel delivery because when people order and they deliver the packages at home, there's a lot of failed attempts. Drivers have to come back, so it's a good option to have lockers. I will show you our lockers are the Colibri lockers. Our lockers are special as well because we want to create. We are creating hubs outside of the city centers. Where multiple deliveries are possible. So we are open source. A lot of couriers can enter. The lockers can be branded any way you want. So for instance, DHL and GLS are currently integrated. But next to parcel delivery, we also have more options of using the lockers, like rentals. For instance, tourists can just rent a locker and put items inside. Also C2C transactions can be done. For instance, one person has an item that they want to exchange with another person. They can put it into a locker, enter their email address, and the other person can come pick it up. The lockers are modular as well, so you can expand, put more lockers or less, as much as you want. It's very easy to install. I'll keep it short because I lost some time. Okay, I'll go back just so you can see the lockers one more time. So these are a few examples of the lockers we installed in Belgium. We install them, one important point as well, we install lockers for click and collect as well near businesses. So we always ask the business, do you want to be able to be a parcel delivery point? A lot of businesses find this attractive as well because it brings people to their business. So it creates traffic. For instance, on the top right, we have Albert Heijn is a big supermarket chain in Belgium and Holland. They put a locker there just for parcel delivery because people come to the locker, they come and pick up their parcel, but they also go to the shop and do their shoppings. So that's basically in a nutshell. I'll leave some time for the judges to ask some questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Kevin. Back to the judges.
Hi, Kevin, Marc here. Thank you for your presentation. If we think about other parcel locker companies, what's the most interesting feature that separates you from all the other competitors?
The most interesting feature is, like we said, we have larger sizes as well. So that's one big advantage. These are standard sizes. We even go into oversized sizes. Next to this is our durability as well. a lot of locker companies don't have the background of the festival and events, the more extreme environments. So our lockers have a built-in fallbacks as well. For instance, if the QR code doesn't scan, we have a fallback that you can use a PIN code. You can just type in a QR code. So we have multiple fallbacks, which make the locker very standalone. It's open source as well, so multiple couriers can come and deliver inside our locker. It's not just one courier. For instance, we have one big postal courier in Belgium. They have a locker, but they only allow deliveries from them to be delivered inside. So a lot of other companies don't want to deliver inside, so that creates an issue for cities because they have to have multiple lockers of different companies next to each other. So we do everybody can be integrated with us. And the other one is that you have multiple flows, we call it. So you have the parcel delivery on the unit, but you also have the rental flow. So tourists can rent a locker to store in luggage. Plus you have the C2C flow for exchanging items between people. We also are currently working on locker units with fire extinguishing for e-bikes. So this can be attached to a unit as well. So basically this creates a hub, at a city for multiple uses, more than just delivering a parcel, but also rentals, charging your e-bikes, basically a smart city hub, we call it.
Great, perfect. Thank you very much, Kevin. Let's move on to our next startup. We have Benjamin Levine here from Track&Engage. You ready? You're muted. You need to unmute. You're still muted.
Yeah. I think
now it's perfect. We can hear you. Great.
It's again. I just need to share my presentation right now. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen. It's okay.
It's opening. We can see it. Perfect.
Okay, so thank you very much. Hi, I'm Benjamin Levine, the co-founder of the startup behind the Track&Engage product. So, consumer expectation regarding post-purchase experience are not met. Event tracking based is outdated. Here, you have two examples of the usual market tracking experience. How come that we can have the real-time tracking for any delivery of a pizza, but not for one's parcel? In fact, it's because carriers face two challenges. First, massive data processing issues, and second, implementation at scale of tech solution across all the organization. And guess what? We did it. We overcame this issue by creating the solution outside of the carrier system. We are building the first white label SaaS solution for carriers to enable them to provide brands with the future of post-purchase experience. And this is how it works. Start the video. Okay, so around 1.5 hours before his delivery, consignee will receive an SMS to access the real-time tracking. He will be able to see his position, the driver's position, and the way line through all the milestones. He will be able to answer all the questions you already asked yourself when you are waiting for your delivery. Can I go shopping? I have a meeting. Will I be late? He will have the time to prepare to receive his parcel or to organize to do so. This transparency dramatically improves the experience for the customer and results in an increase in his commitment. As a consequence, consignee spends in average 30 minutes on that page. Brands will get the opportunity to leverage that time to engage their community to tell stories to their customer using our engagement features. First visit, the brand can show the stores on the map, creating an immersive experience. It will drive additional traffic and is also an opportunity to showcase the service available in the relevant store. But brands may want to communicate around their value. For instance, Etam will explain its commitment towards a more sustainable fashion industry. This way, our tracking page becomes a new media, a new tool to connect with customers. It allows brands to start a different kind of communication based on experiences, culture, and value rather than on products or discounts. On the next visit, Etam will push its circular economy service where customers can go in a retail store to give the brand they don't use anymore. Customers are then rewarded with coupons for the next purchase. What is important to underline here is that the tracking page creates an opportunity to engage customers into a powerful brand storytelling. By catching consignee's attention, Track&Engage enables to implement sophisticated campaigns with which creates bridges between company values and revenues. And in the end, ETAM will be able to push its social media, such as the Instagram page, acquiring new subscribers will give them benefits to their future acquisition campaigns. To move to the next slide. Okay. I don't do it. Okay, so by transforming the post-purchase experience, Track&Engage creates value for all stakeholders. For carriers, it results in additional revenues. It creates a competitive advantage over the other carriers. Track&Engage is also the best shortcut to roll out this kind of live tracking services. We are already fully rolled out through the GLS network in France, and we are currently expanding through other carriers' networks and preparing the opening of new countries. It fosters operational efficiency by involving consignee in this experience. But it also creates value for brands. Brands can leverage the 30 minutes time of attention that we have on average on that page. We record engagement rates greater than 30% on our campaigns, which generates additional revenue. It also helps the brand to strengthen its connection with its community. It decreases the WISMO, the Where is my order inquiries, to the customer services, meaning immediate savings for the brands. But above all, Track&Engage perfectly matches with new customer expectations regarding their delivery, which translates into an unseen level of customer satisfaction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Back to the judges. Who wants to start?
Perhaps I could just ask a question while we're waiting. It's quite interesting, the opportunity for marketing. Do you actually have any data on how much business has been generated, let's say, from whoever's putting those advertisements on the app?
Yes, in fact, you have to see that the engage part is more like it's a media. So it depends on the objective that you want to set to your marketing campaigns. Yes. So we have brands that are using this channel to acquire new subscribers on their social media. We have brands that will operate web to store operation. We have brands that will drive traffic. We have brands that will try to generate additional revenue with additional sales or to push their loyalty programs. So we have huge results on the service, but it depends of what kind of objective you want to set.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you would say there's been a significant take-up of that offer so far.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Sorry, so you would say there's been a significant take-up as that offer to put that marketing material on the app. You would say you have found people who really want to do that.
Yeah, we have many customers. The service is live across all France through the GLS network, and we're expanding to other networks in other countries.
Okay, thank you.
Benjamin, just a question. I need to understand, who is spending the 13.5 minutes? Is this because it's pick up in stores or like the same case you had here? Is that pick up in stores or home delivery?
So I'm sorry, there was a problem when we do the question. So I assume that you ask who spent 30 minutes on the page, right? So this is the consignee. In average, a consignee will spend 30 minutes with around between 2 and 3 visits. Okay.
Okay.
And almost around 30% of them will interact with the page.
Yeah. Benjamin, last questions. At the moment, Track&Engage is actually part of TwoFactor. Okay. Yes. So do you have any plan to spin off?
It's a big question that we have because we see on the market that sometimes they could be confusing to have these different kind of products. In fact, our first job was to be a subcontractor, and as being a subcontractor, we learned so many things on the operation and the digitalization of operation that we decided to put this knowledge in a new product. But we have this intuition, this feeling that we need to still keep the operation part because this is what feed the reflection for the digitalization of all the operation.
Mm-hmm. Good, thank you.
Thank you very much to the judges for the questions here. Thank you very much also, Benjamin. Let's move to the next presentation. This is Martin Pitcher of OmniOpti. Martin, you're ready.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Martin Pitcher. I'm the founder of OmniOpti, which brings a new dimension to route optimization using alternative routes. I'm a mathematician by profession, and optimization is my passion. So it really hurts me to see how expensive this distribution deliveries are. Especially now during the COVID, we've seen that e-commerce and home deliveries were booming. And we've calculated that just with our solution that I'll explain later, we're able to save about 15 billion euros on a global scale for the delivery companies. So what's the problem for the companies doing, postal companies? Letters are decreasing, parcels are increasing, both domestically and also internationally. So the business is changing and you have to adapt. And this is the classic vehicle routing problem that we've already discussed today. But here everybody else assumes that there's only one connection between each pair of locations, which is usually the fastest route. This is a good strategy, but not always the best, because the fastest route can be very long. On the other hand, also the shortest route might not be appropriate because it takes too much time. But there are many other trade-off or alternative solutions which are shorter than the fastest and faster than the shortest. I developed this algorithm when I was working on my PhD in mathematics, which provides these alternative routes. So if this is the fastest one and this one the shortest one, we can find a lot of options. So instead of offering only one option, we can provide more possibilities. Therefore, we add a new dimension to the problem, make it more complex. However, it also enables finding better solutions. We've seen that we can boost the performance of the classic optimizers by up to 40%, just with this add-on, which is completely complementary to existing solutions like we've also heard today. Why are we better than the others? Because we can take into account more objectives. I mentioned already time, distance, but it could also be costs, emissions, safety, anything that you can describe with a number. And we can also provide more alternative solutions that you can choose from. Our business model is also software as a service, and we provide a cloud-based module which can be integrated into existing solutions. So we can act only as an add-on to other solutions, boosting their performance and improving the bottom line. So our experience shows that we can save 5 to 15% of the distance, so also fuel costs, on the top of already optimized solutions, routes. I already mentioned I'm a mathematician and have 15 years of experience in IT for logistics. Okay, we also have a strong team of half of them are scientists, half are business developers. But what we're mostly looking for are partnerships and projects where we can prove and showcase our benefit, our added value that we can bring to the table. As mentioned, our solution is complementary to existing solutions, very easy to plug in, and we can save somewhere between 5 to 15% of the fuel costs. So hopefully we'll bring this new dimension of route optimization to the market, postal market, as soon as possible, also with your help, and make this world a better place. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Martin. Good. Back to the judges. Who is the first question for Martin?
I have a question, Martin. I was thinking about you of course can't get into all the complexity of your mathematical model, but are you considering and tapping data from like time, kilometers per hour, different roads, different time of day, or is it how do you make sure that the roads are free, the ones that you are giving alternatives for?
Yes, well, generally the simple version is working on static data. However, we can also integrate dynamic or let's say real-time traffic data also. It just depends on the provider that the customer wants. Yeah, so we can calculate the routes and perhaps maybe check then what's the actual travel times and so on, and filter out only those which are relevant. So it's a very flexible solution.
Yeah.
And it can be adapted and modified according to the needs of every customer.
But you do get real-time data, like traffic jams and construction sites and so on.
Yes, we can get that from various providers like Mapbox or even others like Here or Google or whoever. Yeah, so that's it's just a question of the needs and the wishes of the partner or the customer of ours. Which data does he want to use? Because there are several providers.
Any more questions?
How do you maintain the algorithms? Do you have how do you measure that you always are doing it optimal, that you're not becoming a stationary?
Yeah, that's we have a different approach than everybody else. Usually, as far as I know, they're also using a lot of AI and so on, which has to be updated constantly. We have a different approach. As mentioned, I was working on my PhD in mathematics and developed this algorithm, and I haven't finished it because I haven't published that. So I founded a company instead, and so this knowledge is not public. The algorithm itself makes sure that we always provide the optimal solutions. For example, if I may just share just a second. Share. Yeah, okay. Let's say Google Maps would provide you with the fastest route and maybe one or two alternatives, which are perhaps not even Pareto optimal. So they might be here and here, perhaps. But we also always make sure that the results we provide are Pareto optimal, which is non-dominated, which means the best possible in some way. And what I find very important is that this is complementary to other solutions like eLogii or somebody else, or something that perhaps you might even use in your post. We can just plug in very fast and very efficiently and improve the performance of your tool and reduce the costs. And that works for practically any type of operations. So it's a very basic, but very useful in a broad sense solution.
Good, great. Thank you very much, Martin. We move on to our next presenter, which is Seka Chandra. I see you are here. It's very early for you, I guess. So thank you very much for joining. I also saw you already shared your slides just before, so that seems to work as well. Great to have you with us. So please, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Thank you. Let me try to share my screen over here really quick. Can you guys hear me and see the screens that I'm presenting right now?
We can see you, we can hear you, and we can see your slides as well.
Awesome. Hello all. My name is Shekhar, and my company is SmartAddress. We provide instant addresses for easier deliveries worldwide. A staggering 75% of the world is badly addressed today, and that is causing delivery problems globally. We're talking undeliverable packages, lost revenue, and unhappy customers. Bad addresses cost us more than $100 billion every year, and that's a lot of wasted money. Package anxiety is a real problem for many people. In fact, 1 in 20 packages can't be delivered because of a bad address, and that is hurting e-commerce, shipping, and postal companies around the globe. We're introducing brand new addresses to make deliveries easier for people. We gave every square meter on Earth an instant smart address, and you can use them for guaranteed deliveries to the exact location. Here is a real-world address in India. As you can see, it's an absolute mess. And here is its smart address. This new address is simpler and more accurate for easier deliveries. Most importantly, it's not a mess. Here is an address location in the US, and on the right is its smart address. You can use this new address for deliveries right away. Our solution is a game changer for e-commerce because we turn every square meter on Earth into a delivery point. So e-commerce can scale and serve every person and every place on Earth. No more bad addresses, no more unaddressed places, no more delivery problems. So getting a smart address is easy. Just drop a pin on your location and you get your instant smart address. You can use it for deliveries or other location-based services, just like you would use your regular address. It's that simple. Here are different addresses to the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Right away, you can see that our addressing solution stands out from the rest because it looks like a real address. Meanwhile, the other addresses look like random words or confusing codes. And that makes our solution very innovative for people. But there's more. A smart address not only looks like a real address, but also behaves like one. And that makes our solution disruptive and revolutionary. Our addresses are numbered like real addresses on a street. This sequential property gives you a sense of direction and makes smart addresses very intuitive for you. On the other hand, nearby rotary words or Google Plus codes appear to be random, and so they don't give you any sense of direction. Smart addresses are hierarchical, just like real addresses. This hierarchical property gives you a sense of where you're located and makes smart addresses very intuitive for you. Again, this is something rotary words or Google Plus codes struggle with big time. Lastly, smart addresses are localizable, like real addresses. In fact, our addresses are available in many different languages and address formats worldwide. Addresses are a global problem, and smart addresses are designed to be a global solution. Of course, where there are addresses, there are typos. So what happens if there's a typo in a smart address? Well, unlike real addresses, typos are not a problem for smart addresses. This is great because a misspelled address should never be the reason for a missed delivery. We provide instant addresses, whether it's for door deliveries to your home today or drone deliveries to your backyard tomorrow. We guarantee smoother deliveries to the exact location anywhere on Earth. We're revolutionizing addresses. People in 175 countries are using smart addresses today. We're in partnership talks with Barbados Postal Office, Domino's Pizza in Southeast Asia, and Zumia e-commerce in Africa. We're also looking for other businesses and postal offices and logistics companies to partner with globally. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shekhar. Good. It's up to our judges now to ask questions to Shekhar, please.
So, Shekhar, thank you very much. You mentioned several clients like Domino Pizzas. Are you generating revenue already? How much?
We're not. We're in exploratory talks with them. We've launched about a year ago, and in terms of go to market, we spent significant amount of time because it is, after all, a two-sided marketplace. In some ways, it's a chicken and egg problem. So we focus mostly to gain consumers traction around the world. So the fact that we got people using smart addresses in 175 countries in just a year is sort of a validation point for us that there's a need for a solution such as ours. As you know, there is O3 words or Google Plus codes. They've been around, for a few years, and they've struggled to gain traction, significant traction. So in a way, this sort of gives us the network effects to try to approach the businesses and postal offices and logistics players to partner with. So we are in exploratory conversations over the last 3 months in terms of approaching Southeast Asia and Africa and the Caribbean islands.
Okay, so concretely, no revenue yet.
Correct.
Thank you.
Kara, just a question: is that the address that you have, is that that GPS coordinate, is that gonna be the same address next time, or how do you see us integrate with our master data in many big operations? Is that do we have to go up and look at your system every time because the address is generated randomly every time, or is this there was some systematically, but is it the same all the time?
Correct. It's the same all the time. So it's as good as the GPS coordinates. What we do is we transform those GPS coordinates into a static smart address. So that never changes. The encoding is fairly open, fairly intuitive to understand. Unlike it's not closed source at all in the sense of O3 words. There is no correlation between what those random words happen to be in the neighborhood as well. Of course, they do give you the same identifier. Just like a real address is. It is a static identifier at the end of the day. And the amazing thing with our solution is you could literally print out a grid of our addresses, just like you would see a street addressing map or an apartment unit number map, and go ahead and implement these addresses, even without having to have an access to a mobile app per se live. So we do a lot of incredible things besides just provide an address. We basically kind of build this addressing solution from the ground up to kind of meet the 21st century needs. That basically means last meter accuracy, and also something that's very intuitive for people. Not only from an appearance perspective, but also the inside, what's under the black box perspective.
I checked it for Eggy's Bar in Treasure Beach in Jamaica. It was interesting.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Shekhar. Great. We heard all pitches. Before we leave the live session and go into the deliberations among the judges, any comments from the judges of today's session? What you've heard, or your views on the pitches in general, or the format, or maybe also something that you want to simply tell future startups for the next two pitches. Maybe Thierry, you want to, as the chair of the judging panel, you want to give a last message here to the startups which pitched today.
Yes, thank you, Bernard. I think it was an interesting day, first day, with good pitches. So thank you also to the startup. It was, in general, I think also a positive mindset and a good dynamics also between the judges. That was very nice. And on the collaboration, the potential collaboration, I really see some good pitches that might work out. I believe, I hope, I guess, in some potential joint collaboration with some postal organizations. So this is what we are going to assess with the judges. But from my side, thank you very much to all of you. It was an interesting afternoon.
Thank you very much, Thierry. Let me also thank all the startups who have pitched here today. It was really amazing, great solutions. Really, I think what makes it so valuable is also the diversity. I mean, we don't have only in one area solutions, but in different one, and then also for different kinds of markets or geographies, if you want. We've heard about the addresses, which is a huge problem in some parts of the world. We have heard about Nundi, for example, with really kind of creating access to the postal system for about 80% of the people that do not have proper access today. And this not only applies to Côte d'Ivoire, but to many, many countries in the world. So there are really game changers here, I think. And then all the different kinds of other players, in particular in the area of route optimization. And this is now very technical, of course, I understand. It's sometimes, as we have always seen, difficult to see, okay, different solutions, what makes the difference between one and the others. That's why the judges also often ask about why is your solution different to the one that we have heard just before. So, but it's interesting to have those discussions and have them on one day, so you can really directly compare some of those solutions. I would like to thank the judges at this point as well, even though you stay connected, please, for having been here with us and for asking those questions to the startups. I also would like to thank all the participants who have joined us via YouTube. As everybody knows, and as I've announced it already, this session will be also published on YouTube, so people will be able to rewatch it. I hope we'll be able to put it on YouTube today or but latest tomorrow, so people can watch it, rewatch it, and this broadens the audience over the coming weeks and months, hopefully. In any case, thank you very much to everybody. Goodbye for now. The only ones that I would like to stay with me here are the judges. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye. Have a great afternoon or morning.